Okay, we're all here. Okay, so countdowns. So I'm putting a countdown clock here, and this is Chinese military arrives. Okay, so you pile into this electric pickup truck. You open the garage door and you start driving. You know from the lay of the land, and I'm going to say Jupiter. You know that there is basically a road that goes from here. It goes along the northern bank of the lake. It then goes along a road that goes along a ravine over a bridge, and goes over a bridge. Excuse me, to that little cove where the seaplane is. The road branches off a couple of other places, but that's the way to go here. The problem is that yes, you do know that there is that there's a creature that you're pretty sure was the Loch Ness monster that lived in that lake. And this road goes perilously close to goes very close to the edge of the lake, and you can't really avoid that because there's well, for one, there's the jungle, and then but also it starts sloping up pretty steeply there. That goes up to that volcano that's in the northwestern part of the island. So you open the garage door and you start driving. The first issue is the pteranodon that was still circling and was presumably waiting for you to emerge from this waiting for you to emerge from this nest or building or whatever it thought it was. It's also called over a couple of its friends. There are now 3 pteranodons. And they are they are swooping down at the pickup. So who is driving?
Jeff is driving.
Excuse me. So what is your plan?
I am hoping to outrun them because I know no better than this about dinosaurs. As far as I'm concerned, they'll just give up. They'll get tired. They'll go away. Who knows, right?
Okay. So it sounds like you are running. I'm going to have you make the roll because you are driving.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you let's see. It's normally roll plus fit.
I mean, I'd say fit is probably like reflexes and stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
ability to drive around,
I
wrestle
was
the
going to
truck
say
into place and stuff.
I was going to say if you wanted to make if you wanted to make an argument for a different ability, I could absolutely
That would be too beneficial to me, and I would rather have the negatives than the positives.
There we go. Okay, why don't you go ahead and roll plus fit?
That is only a 7.
Okay. So
I would
you're
like to choose one, I guess.
Yes, you get to choose one.
I think we escape the threat into a. No, we get to a new location, but we're still being pursued. I like that one.
Okay.
Like these things are on our tail, like dots in the air above us as we, like getting closer and closer, perhaps, because we're not that fast in this electric truck, are we? Let's be honest.
I was going to say, yeah, this is this is an electric pickup. It's probably got a top speed of. Oh, I'm going to say this. Yeah, it's got a governor on it. It's got a top. It's got a top speed of like 40 kilometers an hour.
Can we have Jupiter be stupid again when we drive out of the garage? He's standing with the spear in his hand in the back of the truck and starts yelling, "Haha, I see you got friends. That doesn't mean shit. I'm still top of the food chain. Do you hear me?"
I love it. Okay, yeah, you're able to you're able to evade the pterodactyls. Why don't you tell us how that? Why don't you tell us what do the viewers at home see? How are you able to get past them, although they are still there?
I think that as we're driving, there's there's like the long road that goes through, and you can see that it curves around. And I take a hard left through the trees. And we do a bump, 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 bump off road.
I love it.
Get through, break through to the other side, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that worked out.
Excellent. Okay, yeah, you've made it to the next area. You are approaching this lake. As you drive near the as you are approaching the lake, I'm gonna a snake-like head raises its rises up out of the lake, very perilously close to the road. It's got a mouth full of fangs. It's got a mouthful of fangs, and even though it's in the water, it can easily get to the road that is driving really close to the shore for not for very long, but for a couple of 100 feet. It may be in striking distance. What do you do?
Well, I call for Theo and say, "Hey, Theo, look, it's Nessie again, or the Bravo, whatever thing you name it."
It's a plesiosaur, I think. I mean, no, those are normally marine animals. This is a freshwater lake, so I'm not really sure what this is. Kind of fascinating, actually.
Are you gonna try to identify it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, go ahead and make your roll. Roll plus clever.
Right. Would you say I'm doing this while in peril?
This isn't. Yeah, I think this is going to be this is going to be in peril.
Cool. That's going to be a +3 then, which
I'm
brings me
imagining
up to a failure.
when we came through the trees, we're sort of like right along the side of the lake, right? Like driving along like the shore. Like we can't. Perhaps we're not. We can see the road, but we're not quite back on it yet.
Even with a +3, that's still a failure.
Ooh, ouch.
Look, it's friendly.
Oh, even with a +3, that's still a 6.
Is there some sort? There's some sort of help move, right?
Yes, there is. Take my hand.
There is a take my hand move. When you stop what you're doing to help someone else in trouble, roll plus whatever makes the most sense.
I'm not really sure that's relevant, given that I'm just trying to make a deduction.
Exactly. I don't think that's relative to I don't think that's really relevant to a dinosaur identification move.
I just thought that is about like figuring out a weakness or something that might be quite useful, but I'm okay with not helping.
Yeah, somebody else help somebody else in trouble, I think.
Yeah, it's like when you stop what you're doing to help someone else in trouble, roll plus ever makes the most sense. You're not really in trouble. This is so Theo, what question did you want to ask?
I was going to ask, what is its weakness?
What is its weakness? Oh, clearly these things can't see at all above water. You should be totally safe.
We should be fine. I don't think its visual acuity is attuned for things above the water. You know what I mean? It's like taking a fish out and expecting it to identify all the rocks around you.
Oh, yell that back in through the cabin. Jeff goes, okay. And it's as he's coming, like, he's been trying to keep away from like the line as this long neck sort of goes by us, and he turns now like towards it, thinking they won't be able to see us. It'll be fine. He knows what he's talking about.
Okay. Okay. You're like, oh well, clearly it's. Oh. Oh, clearly, yeah. They can't. It's like in Jurassic Park. Yeah, they can't see. They can't see you if you're not moving. So don't move. And then of course it can see you perfectly well when you're not moving. So it so it makes this roar and then comes down and then clearly can see you. It like leans in really hard to bite at one of the people that's in the that's in the bed. What do you do?
How big is its head again?
It's this. How big is its head?
Yeah.
It's like the size of a very large predator.
Car-sized.
So yeah, I mean the whole thing is its neck is like 15 feet long.
Do you both
Yeah.
want us to do something, or do you want one of us to more take the reins?
Well, I guess my question is like what are you all like what are you all doing? Like I mean, for example, are you going to try to are going to try to be like, I mean, is the driver going to try to like do some kind of like massive evasive maneuver, in which case I'd probably call for a hold on to your butt. Someone going to try to drive it off, in which case I might call for a fight. If you're going to try to like just duck and cover in the bed of the truck, I might call for a hide.
Use the torch.
I was considering, I was considering using the torch, but I just wanted to know.
Yeah, you could totally use the torch.
Yeah, so as soon as Theo says this, half-remembered BS about something he's not really an expert in, then it starts trying to attack the truck, and he's just like, oh, okay, grab the torch, light it, and try to like swing it at his head.
Okay. Are you trying to distract it or you're trying to injure it?
I'm trying to injure it.
Okay, so that is going to be a fight.
9. Even with
9.
my -1.
Okay. You buy a precious moment. So what
minus is that? Because fight is just a straight roll or a +1 if you have a weapon.
Oh, that's right.
I was basing it off of physicality. So then, yeah, that's a 10.
Okay,
or an
yeah,
11
that's right.
if we're considering
That's
it.
right. I was thinking it was fit. Yes, you are correct. It's so since you're using a weapon, I'm going to call that a weapon. Then yeah, that's an 11. So that's a success.
Sweet.
So why don't you tell us what that? So yeah, you successfully fended off as your truck drives by it. Why don't you tell us what that looks like?
So, like I said, he spouts off this information. It immediately ducks its head down to try to take a snap out of one of us, and as a quick instinct, he just grabs the torch, lights it on the way up, and whacks it clean across the face with this flaming stick, and probably gets cinders in its eyes, so it reels back away from the car.
Absolutely. It makes this horrific screech. As it rears back, and Will maneuvers the truck deftly down the road. And yeah, you get away from the plesiosaurus that was in the lake.
So we're not fighting dinosaurs, huh?
We are defending ourselves from them. There's a difference.
Yeah, but actually fighting sounds cooler.
That's fair. Put it in the reel, definitely. We're fighting dinosaurs.
I guess the books weren't right about that dinosaur. Huh.
I think we're going to find that that's going to be a pretty consistent problem we're encountering here.
So you continue down the road, and Jupiter. Yeah, you know that there was a bridge over there's a bridge over a ravine. Although last time you looked at it, it's been more than a week. That bridge was not in the greatest state of repair, and now that you're thinking of it, there was that really nasty storm that blew that blew through here last week that had, really, really terrible amounts of wind. I'm going to say as you come around the bend in the road, like almost immediately in front of you, and you're getting pretty close to this bridge, but almost immediately in front of you, there's like a tree that's like there's a tree that's fallen across the road. What do you do? What do you do, Jeff, since you're at the wheel?
I think I throw it over to the dock.
I'm sorry, I didn't
I
get
throw
that.
it over to Doc Oliver because I'm driving, right? And Doc, do you see anything? What do you think we should do?
Stop! There's a tree.
Well, not slam to a halt because it's 20 miles an hour. Gradually to stop.
As the proud owner of a Nissan Leaf, I'm loving all these electric car jokes.
Yeah, I'm gonna scope out the tree and see if it looks like something we could move, or if we're gonna have to get out on foot and make a decision pretty quick.
You think that all four of you together could probably drag it off? Could probably drag it off to the side, like swing it around to drag it off, or like swing it off the road. It's going to take you. It's going to take you a couple of minutes, and there is still those three pteranodons that have been following you. You see them
All
off
right.
in the distance.
Well, I think that given the circumstances, we should probably try to move this thing. So everyone grab a hold and let's roll it.
Alrighty.
I'm going to say that this is a. I'm going to call for a just do it move, because there is, you're not. It's not an immediate threat, but this is something you could. If you had an hour, this is something you would have no trouble doing, but you're going to want to try to do this as quickly as possible. So,
All right,
And
I
you have
got
two
an 11.
okay. Okay, yeah, you success. So yeah, you successfully yeah.
So I'm going to say that I jump on the log Napoleon style, and I'm directing them exactly where to grab it for the most effect. I'm like, all right, that way. Good job.
And I'm going to say you get back into your truck and start up and start moving just as one of the pteranodons like makes a swoop past you, reaching out for one of the characters that was in the back with its talons, but it but it missed. But the pteranodons are like right with you again. You make it past the you make it past this. You make it over the rickety bridge, and you yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, you've made it to the seaplane. There's a so there's a there's a wooden dock that goes out into this small bay, this small cove. And yeah, there's a twin engine there's a twin engine pontoon plane that's docked to this boat. It looks like it's in decent shape. Looks like it's the kind of seaplane that could hold a pilot and 5 passengers plus some cargo. So plenty of room for all of you. Problem 1, the door is locked. Problem 2, does anyone know how to fly a plane?
I'm going to say that I know how to fly a plane. I spent a lot of time bush piloting around Africa. I'm a doctor, so they always like to get their pilot's licenses.
I know 2 doctors with their pilot's license.
I have no idea how to fix a plane.
I was going to say I was going to say my personal physician is a private pilot, but anyway. Cool. I'm going to say that you're able to get into the plane okay. You're probably don't have time for a full flight pre-check, especially because you've got a trio of pteranodons that are that are still harassing you a little bit, and you're not quite sure how they're going to deal with with you taking to the air, but we'll see what happens.
I got just a thing for that. In fact, as we pull onto the beach and we can see them getting closer, I'm going to start fiddling with the engine and tell everyone to make a break for it. And I'm gonna, take the nuclear option. I know how to craft a powerful bomb. And then basically, the idea is that it's going to blow as they come near and take them out, right?
The nuclear option. Okay. So you're gonna rig your pickup truck as a bomb, and that's the plan. Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, there's no way I wasn't going to take the nuclear option, right? And I feel like
seriously,
it was either this or I flash back to jerry rigging the geothermal things and maybe set the whole island on detonation. But that was if the Chinese military came.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna literally throw gasoline on this fire. There's an outbuilding next to the there's an outbuilding near the on the shore near the dock, and yeah, that's an airplane refueling station. So
I like it. Yeah,
so
airplane fuel.
it's an airplane refueling station. I mean, it's not underground, but there's like a big old tank of airplane fuel.
Yeah, if those things attack us while we're taking off, it's they could destroy the engines. I got a plan for this. You guys go. So shall I roll the nuclear option? It's a confusing one because it says when the bomb is triggered, roll plus clever. But then one of the options is the bomb must be triggered manually by someone next to it, which feels like a thing that you'd want to know before it was triggered per se. You know what I mean? So I was thinking I'd just roll it now. And
yeah, I think
why don't we go ahead and roll it now, and we'll figure out the fiction.
11 anyways. Goes off without a hitch.
Okay.
Which I think is not anything particularly complicated so much as I just jam it, stick something in, light it on fire, and then run, right? And it's just I've timed it properly.
Just given time and given everything else, I'm going to say that I'm going to say the keys are in it. You're able to you rig a short timer, which is maybe just something simple like a fuse. So when it gets down kablooey, you pile into the airplane. Doc, you don't have time for the full pre-flight check, but you fire up the engines and you take off. The three pteranodons fly down, and they fly down to try to swoop to take off the airplane, and that's when boom, the fueling station explodes, catching all three pteranodons in the blast. And you didn't have time to try one, but it sure smells like chicken.
I think I lost a filling.
And you take off into the sky. Roll credits.
Right. Does anybody know where this island actually is?
You got GPS.
Run out of gas over the Pacific somewhere.
We have GPS, but clearly at the moment it's just spiraling around and around and around because we never did quite deal with that broadcast.
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, you're going to get out of its range eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have escaped from Dino Island. It is time for the finale moves. So the hero. So again, time. If we had more time, I would have probably one more encounter. Just as you thought you'd gotten away, but you've got one last thing to do. We don't have time for that, so we're just going to go. we are just going to go straight to the denouement and character epilogues.
Okay.
So, returning home, the denouement. If the heroes escape, make sure to take a moment to describe it. So yeah, you're in the seaplane and you take off, and the island, the island disappears behind you. But many mysteries remain for perhaps Escape from Dino Island 2, the sequel. Okay, so everyone has there is one final move. It is called Safe at Last. When you escape the island, roll plus the number of stories you have told over the course of the adventure. So
All
I
right.
guess we'll go. So I guess we will go in order of the character keeper. So Dr. Oliver, I think you did tell the story of the time someone miraculously pulled through. So why don't you go ahead and roll +1, and we'll see what your epilogue is.
Just rolled that 9, so that puts me up to a 10.
Okay. So on a 10 plus, describe something good that happens to or because of your time on Dino Island.
All right. So I'm gonna say that when I was feeding that dinosaur down in the tunnel, I noticed some of its saliva, and I scooped up a sample of it, and it is a miraculously potent antibiotic with
Love it.
work.
I love it. Very cool. Jeff, it looks like you told one story, so why don't you roll +1?
I got a 10.
You got a 10.
I got 11
Okay.
actually, even with the thing. But yeah,
Same thing.
something good that happens to or because of as a result of my time on the island. We cut to the boardroom of the the mega company that we work for, the super elite board, right? And there's this figure in a chair, and there's all over the TV screens and everything. There is like scandal rocks, international conflicts, government censors, etc., CEO position in jeopardy, etc. And then it shows that it is Jeff in that chairman's chair. And he lifts up, the phone rings, and he lifts it up, and in perfect Chinese, he says, all according to plan.
That's beautiful. I love it. Theo, I don't think we got a chance to tell a story, did we?
No, but I did roll an 11.
There we go. So, same
So-
thing. Why don't you describe something good that happens to or because of your adventures on the island?
Theo has taken his journals, his impressions, and gone back to the University of Alberta, and with all of these impressions has been able to just revolutionize certain theories about dinosaurs, and has easily secured himself tenure at the university within a year of returning from the expedition. But he is lobbying his colleagues and trying to gather funding to see if they can get back to that island and see what else we can learn about these living dinosaurs, this miracle that's happened.
I love it. And finally, Jupiter, why don't you bring it home? Looks like you rolled an 11. So
Yeah.
what good things happened to you?
It doesn't look that good at first, but it turns out to be good. And I think with this, we see a scene where like Jupiter is typing like crazy into his notebook, and then he calls Jeff and says, "Well, I've got the report. I actually find out that like that was a startup Bezos supported like in his old days, and yeah, I think Bezos is working with the Japanese." And then we see Jeff like we see Bezos say, "Yeah, I come over." And a couple minutes later, we see Jeff standing in front of Jupiter and like threatening him and say like, "You better not get anything out of this." And then Jupiter realizes this is way too big for him, and he sort of retires to normal hiking YouTubing, and he's just doing like really cool, relaxed hiking videos and making his money with that, and not really engaging with people much, just hiking for himself.
Okay, well, that was Escape from Dino Island. This was fun. I really enjoyed this game. This is a heck of a lot of fun. Got a little time to do a little debrief. The technique I like is called stars and wishes, where normally so stars are things that you like to call out that were especially fun moments for you. Wishes are normally for an ongoing series, wishes would be things that you would like to see more of. More of for next time. So I guess I will start. Everyone, I love these characters. I think they were a lot of fun. Jupiter, the half the half crazy YouTuber who was always trying to push the envelope. That was great. I really liked. I loved Theo's enthusiasm for really seeing dinosaurs. Dr. Oliver he just seems to bring a certain amount of calmness and reserve to to this bizarre set of circumstances, and I love the way that he kind of like was the de facto leader and kept everyone's cool. And Will, thank you for Jeff's Jeff's ingenuity, and I utterly loved the ending. That was a great epilogue. This totally sets us up for a sequel, which I guess would be my my other wish. I would love to have another outing with these characters in this situation. Maybe I just love to see more of it. Anyone else like to go? Trophy Darknet.
I also really liked the YOLO-ness of Jupiter. Just stupid birds.
Yeah, I'll second that. I enjoyed Theo's copious note takings at every opportunity, and the Doc's nerves of steel and pilot skills, and the backstory of the Doc. It was far more worldly, I think, than the rest of us. Really, at the end of the day, apart from, of course, my Chinese sleeper agent / whatever the hell I was at the end.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I think we all played our characters well. We all did something interesting with it. I personally loved being wrong all the time, except for the first time, because I like the dramatic tension and comedic element that comes with that. And like you said, for wishes, yeah, I just wish that we had more time to develop things and really get into the nitty gritty of a couple scenarios. But it's the nature of the thing, I suppose.
Yeah, it's the nature of convention one shots is, but I guess what they say in showbiz is, always leave them wanting more. So yeah, that was the game. Thanks, folks. I really enjoyed this. This is a whole lot of fun. To everyone, to our newcomers to the Gauntlet, this is more or less how a Gauntlet game goes. Would our Gauntlet old hats agree? I think this is more or less how a Gauntlet game tends to go. So I hope we see you around in the future. We have a lot of games on the regular calendar. Although they're usually
do you
not.
guys do like continuing games, or is it mostly one shots?
We
I'm playing. We do like quarterlies. like where you do like you sign up for like 3 months worth or whatever. I've heard of people doing like multiple quarterlies, like one after the other. I think the most I've ever played in a row in the Gauntlet is like 15 sessions of Masks.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, seems
usually
like a
people,
good run.
yeah, people usually do them more as in like every Thursday in April we'll do a series of Hook Cartel or whatever, right? And then some people do they do like a theme every weekend or whatever, right? And people drop in and out again. It's got a whole load of full activity of long form gaming.
Is
as
it
well.
easy to sign up to play or well to play? Yeah, but is it easy to sign up to run something? Do you have to like propose?
The running thing is kind of a bit informal. It's like, we have you played with us? Do you get like safety tools and things like that? And it's a case of just, it's a. I think there used to be a more formal thing, but it always kept tripping itself over. And now it's mostly just as long as I've been with it, it's mostly a case of just like, uh, you know, I think it's mostly around like not wanting to open it up to every random person off the internet to run a game on the
Exactly.
Gauntlet, right? But
Yeah.
once you've started playing, you're pretty much open. You don't even have to
Yeah,
be a
once
Patreon
you've
to propose a
what-
game.
exactly once you've played like 3 or 4 games with us, and everything's been cool, then ask the community organizer, who's Lowell Francis. Say, hey, I'm interested in running. These are the games I've played. They'll probably check in with the other players and/or the GMs of those games that you've played and say, hey, would it be a, what do you think? Do you think this person would be a good GM for our community? And generally the answer is yes. So, and yeah, then you're given permission to put games on the calendar.
Okay.
I think it boils down to as one of the people I play with is like the don't be a dick rule, right? And it's just the sort of like we know you're probably not a dick, so yeah, cool, let's play. Everyone wants to play games, right? Like,
Yep. There is I sent links out for this one about the Gauntlet Community Code of Conduct. Familiarize with that. But yeah, that's really, don't be a dick. We're very serious about safety tools, using them. So familiarize yourself with safety tools, know how to present them, know how to use them. That's really it. If you want
Seems pretty
training,
straightforward.
once in a while, a couple of times a year, we run Gauntlet facilitator camps. I've never actually gone through one, but there are places where we basically give I think it's like a 2 or 3 session training session on how to run an online game, like more details on safety tools, running, and like running with our community. But yeah, basically, if you're interested, play a few games with us. And GCOG is a great way to get your feet wet. If you want to play ongoing, there is a Patreon. If you join the Patreon at a certain level, you get advance access to the calendar. As usual, there are usually more games. I'm sorry, there are usually more players than there are games for them. So, if you're looking to, if you see a game that looks cool that fits your schedule but it's full, put yourself on the wait list.
Mhm.
More often than not, pretty much every game I've ever run, I almost always pull someone off the wait list. I tend to
people.
run. I'm
So
sorry,
I
go
was
on.
going to say people tend to book into games like way early on when they get announced, like a month or so in advance, and then if something else comes up, they'll drop off, and you'll often see like whole wait lists like completely move
Good.
within like the week beforehand. So what I'd say is it's just a really organized way of playing. Frankly, it's great.
Okay.
So sorry, Michael. Carry on.
No, and I was going to say like what Will said about long form, short form, one shot games. They're all over the map. We don't usually have anything that has like the ongoing campaigns with that don't have a set end date. So usually, even the quarterly games, they'll be announced. They'll be usually like a 12 to 15 game series. I tend to run 4 game series. I usually will run. I tend to run on Thursday nights, and I'll usually announce 4 sessions of this one game. One of these days one of these days I may run a sequel to something I've already run, but I haven't done that yet. I haven't put anything on the March calendar yet because I wanted to get through GCOG first, but I'm probably going to be putting up a Trophy Gold series.
Okay.
It's always Americans who play the Trophy Gold. It's never in the time zone that I can reach. I've never played Trophy really.
Got it.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
go on.
We really should set something up then. Yeah, I'm writing an incursion for Dark and writing on 2 hex somewhere between Dark and Gold. So I'm super interested.
Play testing time, man.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty rare for me to run weekday mornings, but you know, I took Thursday and Friday off of work this week so I could you know, jump in with both feet for GCOG. So yeah, I've got 7 games this weekend.
Lord.
I'm only running
Yeah.
4 of them.
Fun.
Oh, well, that's fair.
All right. Any final thoughts? Closing thoughts?
I'm good.
Okay, I'm going
I
to.
loved it. Thank you very much
Thanks.
for
Yep,
running it,
thank you
man.
very much for
Oh,
that.
thank you so much.
It was a
I'm
real insight into how to run it as well for the future, which is, you know, one of my, I think, you know, the map and everything, like, really showed me the ropes of Escape from Dinosaur Island.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I appreciate the tool of the shared dice rolling thing. That's nice. I did not know about that.
I didn't either.
that's-
That's a pretty good tool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those out there. I'm going to pause the recording. Everyone stay on. I've got a couple of more follow-up questions I want to do once the recording's paused. So that was Escape from Dino Island. Thank you, everyone.